Terrorist parents or a political agenda at the Department of Justice? Attorney General Merrick Garland is getting pushback over his directive to investigate parents for verbal threats made at public school board meetings. A growing number of parents around the nation are challenging their schools over pornographic library books and also critical race theory instruction. So are threats made at heated school board meetings reason for a legitimate criminal concern or just another effort to stifle and silence criticism? Well, here to weigh in is Kimberly Hermann. She's general counsel for Southeastern Legal Foundation. Kimberly, it's good to have you with us. So your thoughts on this, are any of these school board meeting threats worth investigating?
You know, when you actually look at the threats, as they are called by the Attorney General and by the National School Board Association, they're nothing more than public comments, right? We may have a few parents who raise their voices. They may get upset. These are very heated and emotional topics, but they certainly are not threats. If they are, they should be handled at the local level of government, and they certainly do not rise to domestic terrorism, which is what the Attorney General is actually looking at, labeling parents who simply want to speak up on behalf of their students and of their children.
Yes, I mean, it's one thing to say, I'm going to get you. That's basically, that could be at the ballot box, it could be a recall, whatever. It's another thing to say, I'm going to blow up the school or blow up your house or something. Now, that would be an act of terrorism. So what do you think prompted this announcement by the U.S. Attorney General?
Well, we all know that what prompted it was a letter by the National School Board Association. They wrote a letter to Attorney General Garland asking him to label parents who speak up at school board meetings, and I'm saying literally just speak up. They want to talk at public comment and raise issues of awareness to other parents, and to label them as domestic terrorists. A mere 4 days later, the Attorney General came out with a memo ordering the FBI to investigate, surveil, and to then potentially punish parents who were simply exercising their democratic right. So there was certainly coordination, and some of our friends have actually exposed that coordination. So we know it happened, and that is what led to this memo.
And here in Virginia, during a debate last week, former Governor Terry McAuliffe, who's hoping to be elected again as governor, said, quote, "I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach." Now, McAuliffe's comment came and caught the attention of a lot of voters here, and it's now being used by his opponent in a political ad. So do you agree, Kimberly, or disagree that public school teachers, not parents, should decide what to teach their students?
Parents should absolutely have an impact on what is being taught to their students, and that's why we have public comment. That's why we have a democratic process. That's why we see parents across our country running for school committee or running for school board, because they want to have a say in what is happening in their kids' classrooms. That is how our country is set up. That is our system of federalism. The federal government should not be dictating what local governments have in their schools. The parents and the community should be the ones making those decisions through the democratic process. Run for your school board, speak at the meetings. It's very, very important to get out there and advocate for your children.
Hasn't the U.S. Supreme Court consistently defended the First Amendment right to free speech? Why should Americans be so concerned about this? If Garland's directive is challenged in court, isn't he likely to lose?
Well, I believe that he would lose, because what they are trying to do is chill speech, right? And so you are absolutely correct. The U.S. Supreme Court has said that the government cannot suppress speech and it cannot chill speech. But when you have an order by the Attorney General of our country saying that he's going to put the full force of the FBI behind his order and surveil and watch and punish parents for speaking their mind, their speech is necessarily going to be chilled, because nobody wants the FBI or the Department of Homeland Security knocking down their door and punishing them. I mean, those are real potential criminal sanctions, right, that could be brought against these parents. So it is going to chill their speech, and they would certainly have a phenomenal First Amendment claim in response. But it should never have to get to that, right? Parents shouldn't have to wait until they're criminally sanctioned to fight for their First Amendment rights. Those rights are God-given, and they should be able to speak out at these meetings.
Okay, you've given us a lot to think about. Kimberly Hermann, General Counsel for Southeastern Legal Foundation. Thank you, Kimberly, for sharing those insights. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.